Power is not given, it is taken. And now, even creation itself bends to my will.
Marvel and Sony just dropped a fresh wave of footage for Spider-Man. Brand new day. And buried inside a fight scene that looks like pure spectacle is a detail that connects almost every villain Peter Parker has ever faced. Stick with this one, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's the setup. Bruce Banner is back, but not the version fans got used to. In Avengers Endgame, Banner had fused his genius-level mind with the Hulk's body, creating a calm, talkative Professor Hulk who could do interviews and sign autographs. That version is gone. New footage confirms the character has reverted to what fans call the Savage Hulk, the uncontrollable, near-mindless rage state Banner was stuck in for years before Endgame. The trailer even gives him a line lifted almost word for word from 2017's Thor, Ragnarok. No Banner, only Hulk. In that film, Thor tracks Banner down on the alien planet Sakaar expecting a reunion, only to be told that Banner isn't in control anymore. The Hulk has taken over completely, with Banner tucked away in the back of his mind. Hearing that same line again is Marvel's way of telling the audience, without a single line of exposition, exactly what state Banner is in this time. That callback isn't an accident, and it isn't the only one. Peter Parker has spent years idolizing the Avengers, so it tracks that he'd know Thor and Hulk's entire history together, including their time on Sakaar, even without having lived through it himself. And the connective tissue goes further than dialogue. Watch the fight itself. Spider-Man and the Hulk tumble off the side of a building, brawling in midair as they fall, a sequence that echoes the Black Widow movie, where Natasha and Yelena fought inside a collapsing building while plummeting through open air. It's the same stunt language Marvel has used before, just scaled up with two far more powerful characters. Here's where it gets interesting. During that fall, Spider-Man repeatedly punches the Hulk using something called a Shocker Gauntlet energy-based knuckle weapons built by the villain Herman Schultz, the C-list crook known as Shocker, who last appeared getting arrested in Spider-Man: Homecoming. So how does Peter end up wearing his gear? The footage gives us a strong clue. Several shots show Peter meeting with William Metzger, the damage control chief played by Tremel Tillman, suggesting Peter's spending real time inside their facility this movie. Damage Control is the joint Stark and government agency built specifically to clean up after superhero fights, which means by now they'd have amassed nearly 2 decades of confiscated tech-arrested villains' weapons, leftover Chitauri alien hardware from the 2012 Battle of New York, wreckage from the final Battle of Endgame, and Stark-built gear, including the Edith glasses and drone system damage control seized from Peter himself at the end of Spider-Man: No Way Home. Suit that theory up, and it means Peter isn't just borrowing a random gadget, he's raiding an armory built out of the MCU's entire villain history. And the choice to use it against the Hulk isn't just for style, it's a callback to 2 different scenes from the wider MCU. In Thor Ragnarok, Thor knocks the Hulk out cold with a lightning-charged punch. In the first Avengers film, Tony Stark tries something similar in the Hulkbuster armor, pumping extra force into his fists to bring the Hulk down. Spider-Man doing the same math with a stolen energy gauntlet is Marvel showing off Peter's science bro instincts. He's not just swinging wildly, he's running the numbers mid-fight, betting that extra energy plus impact equals a knockout. Except this time, it doesn't quite work. The footage shows Peter landing the punch again and again without success, which either means his math is wrong or the film's saving something bigger for later. So why is the Hulk out of control in the first place? That's the actual mystery the trailer is circling. William Metzger tells Spider-Man that he appears to be the only person immune to whatever is happening, some kind of ability that jumps between people's minds and seizes control of them. Marketing has leaned hard into making you assume this is Sadie Sink's still unnamed character, widely rumored though not officially confirmed to be a young Jean Grey. In the comics, Jean Grey is one of the most powerful telepaths in the Marvel Universe, capable of overwhelming almost anyone's mind. But even she has never fully controlled the Hulk, because Hulk's psychology has traditionally resisted straightforward telepathic domination. If the film keeps that detail, it would explain why this mystery figure can trigger the Hulk transformation, but can't actually steer it once it happens. She can turn the key, but she can't drive the car. Peter's own immunity ties back to the changes his body is going through in this film. Footage confirms he's dealing with a physical mutation, altering his Spider-Man abilities. Something he specifically visits Bruce Banner's college classroom to ask about, since Banner has decades of experience controlling his own uncontrollable transformation. It's implied that whatever evolution Peter's going through is what makes his mind resistant to the mystery villain's influence. He wasn't always immune. He's becoming immune. The footage isn't just fight choreography either. There's an extended cut of Spider-Man taking on the ninja group the Han Solo, cracking jokes and asking, essentially, if they could come at him one at a time instead of all together, then using heightened senses and a stronger, more organic version of his webbing to handle them anyway. There's a quieter, funnier beat too. Frank Castle, the Punisher, teasing Spider-Man about being in love with MJ, and Spider-Man getting visibly flustered trying to argue that Frank can't possibly tell he's blushing through a mask. It's a small moment, but it's a rare one. Audiences don't often see this version of Spider-Man rattled by anything other than a supervillain. If you're new here, this channel breaks down every piece of Spider-Man and Marvel footage the moment it drops. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because Comic-Con is next week, and there's a real chance we get the first Avengers Doomsday trailer. There's a comedic beat in the footage too, and it's easy to miss the reasoning behind it. Peter is shown wandering his apartment in mismatched clothing that clearly isn't his own. The likely explanation being that this happens right after he wakes up from whatever cocoon-like transformation triggers his new powers, disoriented without his own clothes nearby, and grabs whatever's closest. It's played strictly for laughs, a small character beat rather than anything plot critical, and it fits the film's overall tone of finding humor inside chaos, the same instinct behind the Punisher coffee scene, where Peter's shown casually drinking coffee through his mask before heading off to fight the Hulk, something he's actually done a handful of times across decades of Spider-Man comics. Now, here's where the story reaches past this one movie. On the same day this footage dropped, Marvel made two announcements that reshape where all of this is heading. First, a persistent rumor claims Adam Driver has joined Marvel's in-development X-Men reboot, but which villain he's playing keeps changing. Early reports pointed to Magneto, then shifted to Mr. Sinister, and now a separate, competing rumor claims it's actually William Stryker, the anti-mutant military figure from the original Fox films. None of this is confirmed by Marvel Studios, so treat all three names as rumor, not fact. But the Sinister angle is worth understanding regardless of who ends up playing him, because in the comics, Mr. Sinister is obsessed with the bloodline of Jean Grey and Cyclops specifically, engineering their child in order to control a being powerful enough to wield the Phoenix Force. That's an enormous franchise-altering storyline, and with Sadie Sink's Jean Grey only in her 20s, it's almost certainly not happening anytime soon. Especially since Fox's X-Men films already ran a full Phoenix saga just a few years before Marvel regained the film rights. Second, and unrelated to any single movie, Marvel Comics itself is relocating. After nearly 90 years based in New York City, Marvel's publishing division is moving its offices to Burbank, California, joining Marvel Studios under one roof following the same move DC Comics made roughly a decade earlier. Longtime editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski, in the role since 2017, is stepping aside to lead Marvel's manga and Asia Originals publishing out of Japan, with veteran editor Stephen Wacker, whose credits include The Brand New Day and Superior Spider-Man comic runs, taking over as the new editor-in-chief. It's a publishing side shift, so it won't directly touch the movies or shows, but it's a genuinely historic change for the 90-year-old comic book side of Marvel. Be honest, which theory do you actually buy? Jean Grey behind the mind control? Or is Marvel hiding someone else entirely? And Sinister or Stryker for Adam Driver? Which would you rather see? Drop it in the comments because I want to see where this fandom actually lands before Comic-Con blows the whole thing up next week.